All right, welcome back. Today I've got my good friend Chris Michaels with the Storage Rebellion, and he is a two-time guest. He was, I don't know, you were either my second or maybe first guest on. I don't remember, but it was a couple years ago.
Early days. It's good to be back.
Yeah, man. Appreciate you coming back. So what's new? What's been up? Tell us a little bit what's going on.
Yeah, man, life has changed quite a bit since we last talked. My wife and I had twins recently, and that has been exciting, tremendous blessing. We got our hands full. That's going well. Recently stepped in is the new leader, I should say, of the Storage Rebellion community. Working on a handful of deals right now. So there's a lot going on. It's busy, but it's all exciting stuff.
Yeah, I'd say your twins, just them alone keeps you busy.
That's a full-time job. Yeah. And so my wife and I both work from home. And so, which is nice, we get a lot of time with the kids, and that can certainly be a challenge at times too.
No, I'm sure. So how many naps do you guys force the kids to take? Like 7 or 8?
They're down to 2 naps right now. Yeah, we're going to be getting rid of one very soon, and so
getting rid of one of the kids or one of the naps.
One of the naps, yeah.
Okay, good. Okay. Well, let's talk. Give us a little bit of background in case we've got new listeners or people forget who you are.
Yeah, for sure. So I have been, I've been doing self-storage now for the past, call it since 2018, and joined alongside the Storage Rebellion back then. And I joined the company at that point just because I had a small marketing business. Storage Rebellion was just getting started. And that's how I got introduced to the Rebellion. And so once I saw what people were doing there and the lives they were creating, I said, whoa, this is something I would love to get involved with, and started investing myself. It's changed my life, and then kind of slowly stepped into, should say, higher positions within the company, and became one of the leaders within the Rebellion, and started helping others do self-storage as well and create similar results. And so it's been an incredible ride. It's been a tremendous blessing in my life. I've learned so much over the years, and just having the opportunity to help other people find success and also change their lives has been incredibly rewarding. And so as I've kind of stepped in now and taking over the Rebellion, I'm excited for the future, excited for the things that we're going to be implementing, some of the changes that are going to be happening soon. And overall, I think I'm most excited about the impact that I know we can have in a lot of people's lives.
Yeah, we want to talk that impact. But first I want to ask, why self-storage for you?
That's a good question. So I always wanted to do real estate investing. I never knew anything about it, didn't know the first thing about it. It kind of like that unknown, and I guess that fear of what I didn't know prevented me from doing it and taking action. And then, once I got into the Storage Rebellion, I thought storage was pretty cool just because it seemed like it had a lot less parts and a lot less headaches than residential real estate, flipping houses. And so that was intriguing for me. And then the only reason why I started investing in self-storage was because I was broke at that time, didn't have any money, had terrible credit card debt, was falling behind on quite literally all of our bills. We were getting foreclosure notices, about to lose the home, and had no idea what to do. And that was like that boost to step into self-storage. It's like, this is almost like a Hail Mary. Like, I had no idea what else to do. And I was like, well, I might as well try this, because I saw people making quite a bit of money and I saw them doing it relatively fast. And so I gave it a shot. And thankfully for me, it was about 7 days or so. I found my first deal, and then kind of snowballed a little bit afterwards, and changed everything. Got out of debt, was able to help my wife leave her 9-to-5 job. And it's been a huge blessing.
So, and I get this question a lot because I get people that reach out that just asking, not necessarily with self-storage, but real estate investing in general, where they should start. And they always think they need to have money. It sounds like you were probably negative net worth, negative whatever, didn't have any money, and you're like, yeah, I'm going to get in this thing. So how did you do that?
Yeah, so I leaned into the community. I leaned into other supports. One of the first things that I learned about, like, I didn't wait till I had all the answers to get started. I just took action. I learned enough to know, like, what steps I need to take, as far as, step number one is just going and looking for a deal. And so that's what I did. And I didn't wait until I had everything figured out. I just crossed each bridge as it came. And so I had a general idea of what to look for in a deal. And when I found that, I just brought it to somebody who had more experience than me. And we went through the numbers together. And that just looked for an opportunity to make it a win-win for the both of us. And I know you know this, but like sometimes people get hung up on the money side of things. And they're like, well, I can't invest in real estate or self-storage because I don't have any money. But other people do have money. And the way that you need to look at it is that the deal is an opportunity. And so there's ways to make it work where it's a win-win for others, right? Like you can manage the deal and somebody else can fund the deal. Like people have money that they want to invest, but they don't want to operate a storage facility. So like there's a potential partnership right there. Once you have a deal, the money comes really easily, because people are looking for opportunities and they're looking for places and things to invest in. And so if you have a deal and it's going to make money, I think that first deal I had was like, we got it for 150K at that time. And right now it's worth like $800,000 or $900,000. And so that's a huge return, right? And so even if you could find a deal where you double your money, maybe it's a little bit less than that, and you can bring somebody in and you say, hey, I'm going to run this thing. We're going to be partners in it. You fund it, and you can figure out what that return looks like for the both of you. That's how you just create opportunities, right? You don't have to do it yourself. You don't have to get bank financing. You could if you want to, of course. But as you know, John, like there's 100 different ways to make a deal work. And at the end of the day, you're just looking for ways to make it a win-win for everybody. Whether that means bringing in some private money here and there, you could certainly do that if that makes sense.
Yeah. You bring up a couple good points. You don't have to have everything figured out, and I think most people think they need to. And really, the first thing is just finding a deal, and that takes practice. But looking for deals, hunting for deals, and then analyzing deals, like that's step one. And you figure that all out on the fly. Obviously, if you're in a community like Storage Rebellion, you can reach out to people there to get their opinions. And another point is the deal. It sounds like the deal you did, bought it for 150, ended up being 800. It's got to be value add if you're bringing in, especially money partners. Meaning, doesn't it, like you said, it doesn't have to be double, as far as double in value, but you do have to have some type of increase in value. That's significant to support, private money or however you're raising money, because that is a little bit more expensive. And we talked a little bit about that on the show. But partnerships can definitely get you where you want to go further, faster, all that.
And just to touch on that real quick, because I didn't have any of the experience or the confidence. Like I found somebody who did have the experience and had capital to invest. And it allowed me to learn so much faster and move faster because I was able to actually get through a deal. But like leaning into somebody who has that experience, and you can sit down on a call and be like, here's the deal, here's the numbers. And they start walking through it with you. And you could ask questions. You're like, well, why did you do it that way? Why are we running the numbers this way? What are we looking for? How are you doing the projections? When you're actually doing it, right, that's why we talk about taking action. Like some people just sit on the fence and they're like, well, I'll take action. They tell themselves this story, which actually isn't true, but they tell themselves a story, which is I'll take action when I have the confidence. In other words, I feel like I'm smart enough to take action. And that's generally what prevents most people from taking action. The fastest way to learn is just to get in the game and start doing it. So if you can find a deal and just, or even if you go on like Crexy or something, you start looking at listed deals and just start trying to run the numbers, right? Like get a general sense of how to do it and just take action. Like you don't have to buy them. You don't have to make offers, but just get comfortable looking at the numbers and trying to figure out how to put them together and make them work. When you're doing it, that's how you're going to learn the fastest, right? It's like if you wanted to be a professional golfer, you're not going to become a good golfer by watching other people play golf. You have to actually play the game and you have to get in the game. And that's when you learn the fastest. And I see so many people holding themselves back thinking that they need all of the answers before they can do that, which just isn't true. You're going to learn the fastest by stepping in and doing it. And it makes it so much easier when you have that community and support and other people that you can lean on who can hold your hand and ultimately aren't going to let you drown.
Yep. Yeah. Well, and you make a great point, and I want to touch on this because I like harping on schools and how archaic our school system is.
Yeah.
We're taught throughout, however long you go to school for 12 years or 16 or 20, however long you go to school, you're taught to memorize, study, and then take a test.
Yeah.
This is completely different. You've got to just take action, right? There's going to be some education, but you're not going to learn everything. You're not going to memorize everything. That's not how real estate investing works. You have to take action. And it's counterintuitive to what we've been taught from the age of basically 5 or 6. So I guess my point is, one, I don't like schools, but my second point is, don't feel bad that you're like, all right, yeah, I'm kind of overeducating. You got to rewire your brain in a way and just say, I got to take action, and I may screw up, but your screw up is going to be way less impactful in a negative way than your college tuition that you probably paid for.
Yeah. School's really good at teaching you how to get a job and work for somebody else.
Yes.
Yeah, I think when you're just doing it, you're going to learn the fastest. But I had another point which just escaped me, and I'm sure it'll come back. So I don't want to spend time on that. I'll let you continue. If it comes back to me, I'll mention it.
Yeah, call us tomorrow. Let us know.
Yeah, I'll shoot you a text.
Yeah, and well, related to all that, a friend that you and I both know, I don't know how long he's been looking for a deal, probably a couple of years. I think he got really serious towards the end of last year. Ended up partnering with someone else in Storage Rebellion that's a big part of the Storage Rebellion. And he just did his first deal yesterday, just closed on his first deal yesterday. And it sounds like that one deal may get him out of his 9-to-5 or at least close to it, which is absolutely awesome. And there's, there's countless stories like that in the Storage Rebellion, which is really cool. So kind of piggybacking on that, off of that, how does Storage Rebellion compare? Because I got into storage technically, I think it was end of 18 when I started, when I found Mike Wagner, who's used to be a leader of Storage Rebellion. And there weren't as many options back then. There were technically 2 or 3 maybe as far as education wise. And this is kind of back to the educational piece. You do have to learn something, right? You have to learn a little bit. But yeah, there weren't many options. So now there are a lot more options. Fast forward 6-7 years later, a lot more options. How does Storage Rebellion separate themselves from those other options?
Yeah, so I think our primary focus is, we talk about it all the time. We help people use self-storage to create an extraordinary life. And an extraordinary life is different for all of us. But I think what's most maybe a common theme between all of it is that it doesn't matter how much wealth you have. That's not going to give you an extraordinary life. It's a part of it for sure. I think storage success and storage wealth is realistically maybe less than half, like 25% or so of the extraordinary life. And I think where the extraordinary life really comes in and to its fullest maybe is that when we are spiritually healthy, mentally healthy, relationally healthy, physically healthy, that is when we can really tap into an extraordinary life. And I think those things also allow you to perform better and ultimately be better in your business. And I've talked about this before, like I call it the 5 pillars of success. And it's spiritual health, mental health, physical health, relational health, and then business success, business health. And the cool thing about all of these is when they're utilized together, they actually lift one another up. So like, if you're spiritually healthy, well, then you're also going to be mentally healthy. You're also going to be better physically. Your relationships will be better. You'll perform better in your business. And the same goes for the others. If you're mentally healthy, then your spiritual health, physical health, relational success, business success, those perform better as a result. So they kind of lift each other up and they work together. So I've tried to tie those in, I should say, to the Storage Rebellion, where we're not just going to teach you how to get wealthy in self-storage. That's certainly a part of it. But we're also going to show you how to better yourself personally. And I think when we talk about the extraordinary life and helping people attain that, storage, wealth, and success is a small part of it. And we'll certainly show you how to do that. But I think the Storage Rebellion is much bigger and much deeper than that. Like, we want to help people in all areas of their life. And it's more so it's not just a group for storage success. It's a group for personal and professional development. And as you grow in your storage business, there's going to be things that you start to uncover about yourself, and we'll also help you dive into that as well. And I think our goal is just to help you become the best version of yourself, both personally and professionally, if that makes sense.
Makes a little bit of sense. Can you repeat all that? No, that's I completely agree. And Storage Rebellion is completely different in that fact that one, I think and obviously wealth doesn't make you a better person, but I believe becoming financially free allows you a better chance to get better in all those other areas in your life.
Yeah. And it's an opportunity too, to, like, not to cut you off, but like it's the financial freedom part is an opportunity to step into, maybe it's your true calling, or maybe it's where you can provide the greatest level of service to others and to the world. So like, financial freedom is an opportunity to really maybe step into where God is calling you to be. I don't think like I invest in self-storage, right? But like, self-storage isn't a part of my identity. It's something I do, which can then free me up to do the other things that I feel most called to do, and one of those is leading the rebellion and helping other people bring value bringing value to other people's lives, again, both personally and professionally.
Yep. Yeah. And I think to kind of sum it up from my perspective, Storage Rebellion not only helps you find your first deal, hopefully become financially free. And if you want to scale, obviously you can scale from there too. But it also helps you work on other areas in your life where just any real estate educational program is only focused on that asset class, whether it's self-storage, multifamily, whatever it is. That's all they're focused on. Storage Rebellion focuses on, obviously, self-storage and then your entire life, right? I've learned countless things from how to treat my wife, how to treat my family, visions, goals, all those things are talked about. And obviously health, spirituality, all those things are talked about and you learn from. So it's kind of a one-stop shop to just better your life all the way around while learning self-storage. Yeah,
for sure. I think, and I'm sure you've experienced this too, right? Like, most people get into self-storage because they think that financial freedom is the end goal. Yep. And then most people get there and then they start asking themselves, well, what's next? And if they haven't really developed themselves personally, it doesn't matter how much wealth they have. If their marriage is still struggling, if their relationships with their kids isn't good, if they're an alcoholic, it doesn't matter how much money you've made in self-storage. You're not living an extraordinary life. So at that point, it's like, well, what was the point of all of this? Yep. So really, we want to get you on track to not only create the wealth, but then step into that extraordinary life. And in order to do that, we have to tap into all of these things.
Yep. Well, and I've been part of other groups and I've seen people in other groups where they kind of lose focus on we all get into real estate investing for mainly one reason. That's become financially free, to buy back our time, the Dan Martell thing, right? To where we can do whatever we want. And other groups I've been a part of, it seems like they got there and then it's like, I got to keep going. I got to keep scaling, which is completely fine. But now they've also created themselves jobs in their business and they can't get out and they're stuck. And now they were financially free, but now they have a job because they keep growing and they don't know how to get themselves out of that kind of hamster wheel. To where I think the Storage Rebellion definitely helps with that. In fact, that you're kind of more self-aware of if you're scaling, do it correctly, and don't create yourself a job.
Yeah, to your point, like you said, if you're doing it correctly, there's like a fine line where this can go both ways. Like, I know that there's people who continue to scale because the success that they were after, they thought that was the thing that was going to make them the person they wanted to be. And that was going to give them the fulfillment and the peace and the happiness and the identity that they were after. And then when they achieve that success and they realize, oh, I'm still the same person. Oh, like this doesn't feel the way that I thought it would feel. This must have not have been the thing that I was after, or maybe I didn't achieve. Maybe the level of success that I just hit wasn't enough. Like, so they start looking for another goal to hit, which is fine. It's okay to chase and create and to build and want to accomplish more. I think we're wired that way. Like, we were created to build and to create and to become the best versions of ourselves. You just have to be cautious and careful of why you're doing it. If you're doing it and you're chasing more success as a way to maybe feel fulfilled in life, and I use that one loosely, but like, I'm trying to think of the best way to verbalize or to say this.
Kind of fill time. I mean, I've been there to where it's like you want to keep scaling just to fill time, or you're chasing somebody else, or you're, for the wrong reasons.
Yeah, I think, that's definitely part of it. I think that's part of it. And then also, I think they think that next level of success is going to make them the person that they're trying to be.
Yep.
When you can just become that person now, right? Like, people think, well, once I make X amount of money, I'm going to be fulfilled. I'm going to be happy. I'm going to be confident. I'm going to have more energy. I'm going to be more respected, only to find out that isn't the case. But like, if you want more energy, if you want more confidence, if you want your relationships to be better, then just do those things now. Just focus on doing that now. The wealth and the business success, you and I talked about this at an event, internal and external success. So like, external success is outside of you, right? It's the business success, it's the wealth, it's the financial freedom, it's the new house, the new car. Internal success is everything within you. It's peace, fulfillment, it's a connection with God. It is your ability to stay calm through the midst of a storm. It's your ability to navigate limiting beliefs. Like, it's everything within you. And most people chase external success, hoping that in return, that will create internal success, but it doesn't actually work that way. When you create internal success and you focus on becoming better spiritually, mentally, physically, all of those things, external success, the success in your business, the wealth, the new home, the new car, seems to come a lot easier because you're essentially the vehicle to that success, right? Like, the more equipped you are and the stronger you are mentally and spiritually and physically, and the stronger you are with navigating limiting beliefs, and the more confident you are, that only allows you to show up and perform better in your business, which then creates the external success that you're looking for.
Yep. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, and you're not saying don't grow, don't scale, don't be more productive. You're just saying do it for the right reasons, and a lot of people don't even know why they're doing it.
Right.
Which is which is part of Storage Rebellion. So I know when this show airs, it's actually going to air. You've got some announcements coming, some changes coming. So we can't really dive into those because you're going to announce those to the group after this show airs. so we don't want to spoil those. But what can you tell us that maybe you've already kind of let known public that is changing, or what can you tell us?
Yeah. So what I can tell you is
can't
that,
tell us anything.
Yeah, no, what I can tell you is that if you're considering self-storage investing, or if you're already in the Storage Rebellion, can kind of give you a look of like how to get the most out of this experience. And so we have a free community where it's very similar to like a Facebook newsfeed, but it's not Facebook. And this is essentially where everybody gets together and congregates and supports one another, ask any questions that they have. And whether you're brand new to storage or you're a seasoned investor, like you can drop any questions that you have into the forum, and you'll get people chiming in and answering and supporting you. And then we have a few different programs right now that you can jump into. If you're looking for your first storage deal, we have an awesome program called The University, which is weekly group coaching. So like once a week, you can jump on with our other Storage Rebellion leader, Shane Chapin. And Shane has had tons of success in self-storage, and he just jumps on once a week. It's a half-hour call. And he takes all your questions, no matter if you're trying to figure out how to analyze a deal or how to make an offer or how to be more productive and efficient with your mailers. Or if you're getting ready to close on a deal and you need support, like once a week, you can go and get hand holding and get your answers or your questions answered to help you move so much faster. And then with that program, we also provide, it's called an accelerator course. So this walks you through every step of the investing process, from finding deals, analyzing deals, making offers, talking to sellers, partnerships, due diligence, remote management. We provide that to you to give you that stronger foundation and give you more confidence so that when you step onto the coaching calls, you have more of a foundation to start working from. So that's a really great program to help you get to your first deal. It's only $97 a month. There's no contracts or commitments. You can just do it as long as you are finding value in it. And then right now we have our next level program, which is going to experience some rebranding. So I'm not going to say the name of it yet, but that comes with 2 coaching calls per month, or I shouldn't say coaching calls. We have a training call in the beginning of a month where we bring in an industry professional or a case study. And then in the middle of the month, we do Hot Seat Mastermind. So this is where you get paired up with other high-level investors and you get to navigate and work through any challenges that you have. We do 2 retreats per year where we all get together. We have accountability groups along with a handful of other resources and benefits of it. And then we're currently working on another next level group that's actually kind of a mix of both storage success and personal development. And so like going back, the university is great if you're looking for your first deal. And then that middle tier program, which like I guess I could say was originally called the Storage Rebellion Insiders, which is what it was. It's going to be rebranded very soon, and that name's going to change. That's really if you're like trying to go from deals 1 to 5. That program is more so structured around helping you get to financial freedom with self-storage. And then the next level group above that we're currently developing, that's for the people who are already living off of self-storage wealth. And now they're looking to take themselves personally to a whole nother level. That's really like stepping into the legacy that they want to create in the world.
Love it, man. I don't know if I have any more questions. You pretty much covered everything there. What did we miss?
That's a great question. I'm not sure what we missed. We can certainly highlight some of the things, because I know you got quite a storage background as well. And so like we can highlight some of the things that I think might get in the way of most people maybe stepping into self-storage. I know, like I said, when I got started, I had a ton of limiting beliefs, didn't understand much. It was like I was in a horrible situation, which forced me to take action. And I know you had a sales job. Were you just getting tired of it and that's what got you into it? Or like what brought you into storage?
I was beyond tired. I was in real estate investing. My first single family rentals in 15, I think.
Mm.
So I always had kind of that real estate investing bug, that itch. But then, after a few years go by, I'm like, okay, I can see where this thing really works. Just need the scale. So yes, long story short, stumbled on self-storage. And yeah, was able to leave my 9 to 5 because of it.
Yeah. And you are doing, I would say, that you're financially free because of self-storage. No, you're kind of tapping into some other business opportunities right now. What were some of for you, what were some of the limiting beliefs and or hurdles that you were maybe facing when you were looking to get into deals 1, 2, and 3?
Yeah. Did this interview just change?
I feel like I'm now John Farley
now. I remember the first. I don't know, because it helped me be a little bit calloused and a little bit experienced doing a few single family rentals, and I did a flip in there too. So I worked for a construction company, electrical contractor. So a lot of those things kind of help, I guess, smooth the transition. But I remember my first deal. I don't remember if I've talked about this or not. I probably have. But my first deal closed in, I think, June. And it was like 2 or 3 weeks after we closed. Fortunately, I had a helper, boots on the ground, already in place. But literally, as soon as we got to our vacation spot, we got out of the car. I got a call from our boots on the ground. Literally, I remember we literally got outside the car and he called me. I'm like, why is he calling me now? And he found drug paraphernalia all over the place, mobile units broken into, and at least 2 different people living on site. And this was, I think, end of June, early July in Ohio. So clearly they were baking in these storage units, and we had just anything and everything that you could possibly think of, go wrong those first few weeks happen. So that was probably the biggest hurdle, to get past that and figure out what systems to put in place. So it's more operational for me, as far as underwriting and finding deals. Not as much as a hurdle, although environment now is difficult to find deals. Back then it was a little bit easier. But yeah, that was my biggest hurdle, was operational.
Interesting. Yeah, you it's funny though, because especially because you had some real estate experience prior, but obviously residential flipping houses, there's so many more moving parts, and not to minimize what you went through in the storage business, which I'm sure those were sound like some headaches, but you got through it, right? And so I'm sure you probably learned how to navigate some of that a little bit more efficiently, and you probably experience that less now, right? Or
yeah.
You have probably better systems now to help you.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I heard this was, I want to say 2023, maybe 2022. So 2 or 3 years ago, I went to a mastermind in Cleveland and heard I don't know. I've heard he's worth around $500 million. Heard him speak in a small room, which was cool. But he talked, the biggest thing I took from him was when he decided to let go of the day-to-day operations, like the everything that comes in day-to-day, right? And he focused on the 1 to 3 to 5 year vision and goals in his business. That's when his entire, not only his business, but his life changed. And that's kind of, I took that to heart and have done that. Because even if, when I was dealing with those break-ins or dealing with my boots, it's like all these little small problems are like little paper cuts. And it's very hard to deal with those, put those fires out, and then also grow your business and focus on the growth of your business. You can't do both those at the same time. You're just swamped and you're overwhelmed mentally. So yeah, I'm very fortunate to have an awesome team now that I don't deal with. Honestly, the only thing I do operational that's day to day is I look at the rates, our street rates and current customers' rates. It's literally all that I do. Everything else is handled by your team, and that's definitely allowed me the mental clarity to focus on growing our business and improve on things that we're already doing. So yeah, I'm completely out of day to day and don't have to deal with that stuff now.
At what point did you feel that was necessary? Like, how many deals did you have until you were like, all right, I got to start tapping into more of a team?
I had a part-time assistant probably after 5 or 6 deals, something like that.
Okay.
So I had someone answering emails, dealing with more customer stuff, but we didn't have systems in place. So now, and when I say systems in place, for example, if our gate breaks down, we have in our SOP on how to deal with that. Mm-hmm. So it's like, okay, if the gate breaks down, turn off the breakers, turn them back on, see if it comes on. And then we have steps to, if that happens, good, everything is working. If it doesn't happen, go to step 2, step 3, step 4. So we've got those things in place now to where if something happens, our people can just look it up in our SOP and handle it.
Yeah, that's great that you have that. I think too, like it's important to highlight that because some people might be wanting to get into storage or something. They'd be like, well, I can't do it until I have a big team, or like as you mentioned, like it wasn't until like deal 5 or 6, and at that point you were probably living pretty well off of self-storage. I think it just depends on where you want to go with it. Like if you want to continue to scale similar to yourself, then you can, I think it's beneficial to tap into a team and have those systems to help you. But for anyone who's like just getting started, I don't know if I would necessarily worry about that right now. What are your thoughts?
Well, everyone's different, right? And again, most of us come from a background of trying to do everything ourselves. Yeah. And I think there's definitely some strength in that. I learned a ton, and it also allowed me to at least guide the people on our team where to go with certain situations. Because I had the answer, and sometimes I did provide the answer, at least in the SOP, but then there are times, and now I'm trying to do more of it to where it's like, all right, what are 3 options we can do here? Think through this. Let me know what you come up with, and then we'll pick one of the options on how to handle this situation. So I think starting off, I think there's strength in doing everything yourself. Not everything, but a lot of things yourself, just so that you learn how to do it. That way you can hire the right person and train them too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
So cool, man. Well, I'm done being grilled here. That's for another show. We don't need to keep grilling me here. Yeah, man, I appreciate you coming on. I'm excited for what you're doing already. Excuse me, and where the Storage Rebellion is going under your leadership. And if anyone wants to reach out to you, how can they find you?
Yeah, you can find me a few different ways. You can reach out to me directly if you'd like at chris@thestoragerebellion.com. You can hop into our free community, storagerebels.com, or you can find us on Instagram under Storage Rebellion.
And what's your address? So in case someone wants to stop by and pop in.
Yeah, I'll give you my address, but you have to bring Chipotle.
No, I'm sure you'll have some people show up, I'm sure. Cool, man. Well, again, excited to see where you take this. Good luck, and appreciate you coming on.
I appreciate it. Thank you, brother. Thanks for having me.
All right, we'll see you guys later.
Thanks for following, subscribing, and listening to this episode of the Do More podcast hosted by John Farling. To learn more or ask questions, go to l4investing.com.